Hey, let me check in with the Blck Cmpny. Um, this has been, I'm sort of on the last, I'm about to start the very last kind of what's probably kind of the coda chapter of the Blck Cmpny, which is number 7, Rose. But yeah, before that, it was number 6, was a lady, lady being the dark female lord of this world at the moment. And what it's definitely devolved to is that the rebels have been completely subverted by the kind of the hidden presence of the Dominator, the male Dark Lord who 400 years ago had full sway, and it, as it been thought up until this point had been in the ground, and been dominated. But what's been happening with all the kind of the battles with the rebels, it seems like the rebels have gotten taken over by the Taken, specifically Taken who were perhaps on the other side of things, wanting to bring back the Dominator, who are ones like that. And it turns out there's a third faction, which is just Soul Catcher. They're the Blck Cmpny's original patron themselves, who seems to be playing a game where they want all the Taken and the lady, all taken out, and then to keep the Dominator submerged down below. Whether to kind of have all this for themselves or not. And indeed, in this last thing, the lady, who is definitely kind of, as much as like just a regular human being can be taken, Croker has been taken by this lady and made to serve her thing. And it's like, get this bow, arrows, and they hunt Soul Catcher. And they do finally catch Soul Catcher, and Soul Catcher is being referred to as he throughout the novel, but the lady definitely calls her she. And indeed, once Croker actually shoots her like multiple times and then beheads her, the mask comes off, and it's a woman, and it's a woman who is the exact same face as the lady. This is a twin, a sister. And at first I thought it's like, oh, Soul Catcher talked about the story of how the lady killed her sister. And it's like, oh, maybe that was a metaphorical story. Or as Croker maybe more rightly thinks, and probably Croker knows better than I, that it's a triplet situation where they killed one of the triplets and that these two were left, Soul Catcher and the lady. And so they've got, and we have a little bit of a slipping of the mask of the lady as the icy regal thing of like, just her going, oh, this, that, the, what is, I am going to see if I can go back to it. You'll have to forgive me here, because they do get back to there's a pyramid that basically has been the lady's fortress, and they come back to it, and everyone is dead, and like we're talking hundreds of thousands of people are dead, and indeed it looks like they've used disease to like just murder everyone. And indeed, that seems to be a part of what the lady's idea. The lady's idea for all this is to basically just clean the slate, kill everyone on both sides. And it's like when she's like, she's saying like, I never did like that bitch. She said, even when we were children. She glanced at me warily. Shut up. The life left her face. She became the ice lady once more. It's like you do get kind of glimpses of it just being the being just human evil. If there was ever some this is 30%. If there were ever some weird love spark within me, as my brothers accused, it flickered its last. I saw plainly what the rebels wanted to destroy, that part of the movement which was the true White Rose, not the puppet of the monster who created this woman and now wanted her destroyed so he could bring back its own breed of terror back to the world. At that moment, I would have gladly deposited her head beside her sister's. Second time, if Catcher could be believed. Second sister. This deserved no allegiance. And I mean, I think this is where Croker actually does start after being the complete tool of the lady, this is where he actually he actually kind of differentiates himself from the lady, you know, after they've killed the Catcher, you know. And there's a thing here of like, I could not get my feelings straight. I did not believe in evil as an active force, only as a matter of viewpoint. Yet I had seen enough to make me question my philosophy. If the lady were not evil incarnate, then she was as close as made no difference. Which is definitely the thing throughout this novel of, in a lot of ways they've just been like, it's all a matter of viewpoint. Whoever we fight for, I guess those are the good guys and the other ones are the bad guys. It's like, he does start coming around to like, no, there actually is evil in the world, and that, that the thing. We also do have him spotting Darling, this young girl who is mute, who has uses signs, and all signs are pointing to the fact that she is going to be the chosen one, but maybe not the chosen one this time. There's been a comet, kind of, which is the prophecy of this comet will come and will defeat the darkness. It's like, well, comets go on little cycles, so maybe not this time around. Maybe it's going to be another time around. Yeah, the thing of, I look back on the panorama of death, 250,000 men, mind-boggling, too vast to have real meaning. Even in the Dominator's heyday, battles never approached that scale. It's like, and that lady had engineered this. I did not like the lady much anymore. The world would be better for her absence. Catcher was a murdering schemer whose ambitions had sent hundreds to their deaths. She deserved her fate. How much more so this sister who had hurried thousands down the shadowed road. It's interesting we get into kind of like the whole thing of the kind of very masculine thing of the company, but the very feminine powers that are that are thing. Though, she's like, how am I going to argue this with the captain? He would not want to betray another commission. There are the physically dead and the morally dead. My comrades were amongst the latter. They would not understand me. Elmo, Raven, Candy, One-Eyed, Goblin. They would act like I was talking a foreign language. And yet, could I condemn them? They were my brothers, my friends, my family, and acted moral within that context. The weight of it fell upon me. I had to convince them there was a larger obligation. So maybe that's the big turn in this, is like, there's the brotherhood of the Blck Cmpny, and that's sort of been their only moral compass is loyalty to one another and loyalty to their commission. And Croker is shifting to a larger obligation, and whether he's going to be able to actually manage that under the kind of the weight of tradition of the Blck Cmpny, which he is actually the holder of, is kind of one of those ironic things, Yeah, no, and the thing of like, this is definitely, you can tell this is the first book in a series. It's like, if he had been defeated here, Dominator, if only he, she, and I knew that. If only he, she, and I knew that the greater wickedness had been forestalled. Moreover, the rebel ideal had passed through a cleansing, a tempering flame, a generation hence, ... That there's that idea. But maybe there is a force for greater good, created by our unconscious minds conjoined, that becomes an independent power greater than the sum of its parts. Maybe, being a mind thing, it is not time-bound. Maybe it can see everywhere and everywhen, and move pawns so that what seems to be today's victory becomes the cornerstone of tomorrow's defeat. And indeed, I believe I saw the landscape of tomorrow, saw the lady's triumph turn turning like a serpent and generating her destruction. During the next passage of the comet, I saw a true white rose carrying her standard to the tower, saw her and her champions as clearly as if I were there that day myself. And he's terrified by this. For if this were a true vision, I would be there. If it were a true vision, I knew the white rose, had known her for a year. She was my friend, and I had discounted her because of a handicap. So it's obviously talking about Darling, the young girl that is Raven's friend and his own, and is mute. And so yeah. So this is really, it's like we've had a really kind of, we've had a definite giant battle. It's very much kind of Helm's Deepy thing, but Helm's Deepy thing where both sides were complete assholes. And now we can see that we're going to be ramping up. We're going to have some closing bits here in a final chapter. Rose, it's the White Rose. Who is the White Rose? Is Darling's actual name is going to be Rose. And then we'll have the next chapters of it. But yeah, I'm glad I've gone back and reread this, so I've been enjoying it. All right, more videos later.